Okay, so this is a guided walkthrough for TryHackMe's Advent of Cyber event 2024, and this is day 16. The topic for today is Azure, and the title of the activity is The Wereville's Key Vault Grew 3 sizes that day. So let's talk a little bit about what's happening in the story before we solve today's challenge. Another day, another challenge, and unfortunately for McSkitty, another intrusion into their Azure tenant. Before joining McSkitty in her investigation, there's some catching up to do, and this is a story best told in rhyme. As Sockmas approached, so did the need to provide those without with something to read. Careful was tried, they made it their mission, a gift for all wears a Sockmas tradition. McSkitty logged on and felt some confusion, an alert saying here a detected intrusion. Inspection began as to what was at fault. It seems access was gained to McSkitty's key vault. She checked and she checked, as she had to be sure, but it hadn't been long since adopting Azure. Troubleshooting ensued, ideas were that had been tabled, which would have been great if logs were enabled. With 3 hours slept and no records kept, McSkitty then knew what she needed to do. It's true that on her this town does depend, but to find out what's wrong, she needed a friend. So clearing her throat and preparing her pitch, she picked up her phone and called up the glitch. It was too late, too late. McSkitty's eyelids felt as they had dumbbells attached to them. The sun had long since waved goodbye to Wareville, and the crisp night air was creeping in through the office of McSkitty's office. If only there was a substance which would both warm and wake her up. Once McSkitty's brain cells had started functioning again, and remembered that coffee existed. Checking her watch, she was saddened to learn that it was too late to get her coffee from her favorite Wareville coffee house, Splunkin' Donuts. The vending machine downstairs would have to do. Sipping her coffee, McSkitty immediately lit up and charged back into the office, ready to crack the case. However, as she entered, the glitch had an idea of his own. He got it and figured out an attack vector the user had likely taken. McSkitty took a seat next to the glitch and he began to walk it through. Learning objectives. In today's exercise, we're going to learn about Azure, what it is, and why it's used. We're going to learn about Azure services like Azure Key Vault and Microsoft Entra ID. And then we're going to learn about how to interact with an Azure tenant using Azure Cloud Shell. Intro to Azure. Before diving into the glitch's idea of the attacker's path, let's introduce some of the key concepts that will be covered in this process. We are going to start by introducing Azure. To do that, let's consider why McSkitty is using Azure in the first place. It all started when McSkitty's role as cybersecurity expert of Wareville really started to take off. Before she knew it, McSkitty was in very high demand and needed to create all kinds of resources to help her organize her duties. These included a web application to handle appointment making, multiple machines running for investigations, and more machines running for evidence storing and analysis. McSkitty hosted and managed all of these machines herself, that is, on premises. This initially wasn't a massive issue because, after all, she wasn't a corporation, but just helping the citizens of Wareville with cybersecurity matters. However, as time went on, McSkitty ran into issues during peak times when she would receive many requests for help, and therefore needed to process more evidence. All of this increased demand meant McSkitty had to scale up her resources to handle the load. To put a long story short, this was a lot of hassle for McSkitty. She wished there was a way for someone to handle her infrastructure on her behalf, especially when scaling her resources up during peak times and down when they resumed. That's when Azure came to the rescue. Azure is a CSP, cloud service provider, and CSPs, others include Google Cloud and AWS, provide computing resources such as computing power on demand in a highly scalable fashion. In other words, McSkitty could instead have Azure manage her underlying infrastructure, scaling it in times of increased demand and decreasing it in once traffic resumed to normal levels. The best bit, McSkitty only has to pay for what she uses. Gone were the days of buying physical infrastructure to handle increased loads, only for that infrastructure to go unused the majority of the time. Azure, and cloud adoption in general, boasts many benefits beyond cost optimization. Azure also gave McSkitty access to loads of cloud services ranging from identity management to data ingestion. Quite frankly, there are more services that can be abbreviated in a sentence, as at the time of writing, there are over 200. These services can be used to build, deploy, and manage McSkitty's current infrastructure, as well as give her the options to upgrade and build new applications in the future, given the range of services available. A couple of Azure services will come up during Glitch's attack path. Let's take a look at them now. Azure Key Vault. Azure Key Vault is an Azure service that allows users to securely store and access secrets. These secrets can be anything from API keys, certificates, passwords, cryptographic keys, and more. Essentially, anything you want to keep safe, away from the eyes of others, and easily configure and restrict access to what you want to store in an Azure Key Vault. The secrets are stored in vaults, which are created by vault owners. Vault owners have full access and control over the vault, including the ability to enable auditing so a record is kept of who accessed what secrets and granted permissions for other users to access the vault, known as vault consumers. McSkitty uses this service to store secrets related to evidence and has been entrusted to store some of Wareville's town secrets there. Microsoft Entra ID. McSkitty also needed a way to grant users access to our system and be able to secure and organize their access easily, so a Wareville town member could easily access or update their secret. Microsoft Entra ID, formerly known as Azure Active Directory, is Azure's solution. Entra ID is an identity and access management IAM service. In short, it has the information needed to access whether a user application can access X resource. In the case of Wareville town members, they made an Entra ID account and McSkitty assigned the appropriate permissions to this account. With that covered, let's see what Glitch has come up with. Assumed breach scenario. Knowing that a potential breach had happened, McSkitty decided to conduct an assumed breach testing within their Azure tenant. The assumed breach scenario is a type of penetration testing setup in which an initial access or foothold is provided, mimicking the scenario in which an attacker has already established its access inside the internal network. In this setup, the mindset is to assess how far an attacker can get once they get inside their network, including all possible attack paths that could branch out from the defined starting point of intrusion. So, in order to start today's exercise, we need to do two things. Is there a direct link available for this exercise? Yes. Am I given credentials to connect directly to the cloud environment? Yes. For this assumed breach testing of Wareville's tenant, McSkitty will provide valid credentials. To get the credentials, click on the Cloud Details button below. Okay, so we've got our cloud details. We need to click on it. And then we need to join the lab. So over here, this window opens up. We need to click on the green Join Lab button over here. So click on that. So after that, this button over here, Lab State, becomes green. It says Joined. Expires in about 1 hour. So we have about 1 hour to complete this today's exercise. And we need to open the lab over here. So we need to click on this Open Lab button here. And that's going to open up a different window, which is going to let us log in. So I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so that we can see. We're essentially trying to log into Microsoft Azure, and we need to get some credentials. So the credentials can be found on the TryHackMe page under the Credentials tab over here. So Credentials, click on that. We've got a username, so we can copy this to our clipboard, this username here that we need to supply. go back and then paste in the username and then click on next. We need to enter the password. To get the password, we need to go back to the TryHackMe page and then copy the password to the clipboard, then go back and paste in the password. Click on sign in and select don't save. It says action required. The organization requires additional security information. Follow the prompts. We need to click on ask later. Click on ask later, this button down here. Stay signed in. Do this to reduce the number of times you were asked to sign in. I guess we can stay signed in. Okay. What we need to do, okay, welcome to Microsoft Azure. Click on cancel. We're going to X out of this. And then we're going to click on this button over here, Cloud Shell. We're going to click on Bash. It says getting started. Select a subscription to get started. Okay. We're going to select no storage account required over here. And subscription, we're going to select AZ subs AOC from the list over here. And then we're going to click on apply. After we do that, we can open up, our cloud terminal is going to start, and that means we can continue. So we don't need the rest of the web page over here. So we can just make our terminal nice and big. Okay, so your cloud session will be ephemeral, so no files or system changes will persist beyond your current session. That's fine. So the text over here is a bit small. Let me see if I can make this bigger. I can make it bigger. Awesome, awesome. All right. So we're going to continue from here. Sorry for the interruption, everybody, but I think we're back on track. Okay, at this point, we are ready to execute Azure CLI commands on the Azure Cloud Shell. Note that all of the following commands are to be executed in the Azure Cloud Shell. Over here, AZAD signed in user show. This is going to get us information about our current user. All right, so we're just going to copy this command. We're going to go over to the other terminal window. We're going to paste it in. So this is a little bit wonky, but we want this portion of the command. Okay, hit enter. So it says here that, can I make this a little bit? I think what we can do is we can put this terminal in its own browser pane. So we can click on this button, I think, to maximize it. Okay, all right, this is what we want to do. So just click on that to maximize the window, then we can see everything now. All right, so we've got all this information about our current user, and the most important part is the name over here, which is the username that we use to log in. All right, so what do we do next? You can confirm that credentials worked if the succeeding output renders the authenticated user details, and it's going to look something like this. Going down the Azure rabbit hole. When the glitch got a hold of the initial account in Wareville's Azure tenant, he had no idea what was inside it. So he decided to enumerate first using the existing users and groups within the tenant. Entra ID enumeration. Using the current account, let's start by listing all users on the tenant. So the command might take a while depending on the amount of user accounts available, so feel free to skip it. So we'll try using this command over here to get a list of users. It might be a very large list. If it's a very large list, maybe we'll skip it. So we're going to go back. We're going to copy this command. Then we're going to go back to the terminal here. And we're going to paste it in. And then we're going to hit enter. So it looks like it's working. This might take a little while to come back to us. So we're just going to go over to the TryHackMe page. Yeah, so there's a bunch of different users here. And this is how we return all of them. Great. Let's go back. The Azure CLI typically uses the following command syntax: AZ group subgroup action optional parameters. Given this, the command above can be broken down into target group or service AD, target subgroup user, action list. To see all available commands, you can execute the az-h or azgroup-h commands. After executing the command, you might be overwhelmed with the number of accounts listed. For a better view, let's follow Mixkitty's suggestion to only look for the accounts prepended with WV user. According to her, these accounts are more interesting than the other ones. To do this, we will use the filter parameter to filter all the accounts that start with WV user. So let's run this command over here. It's going to filter out all the users unless they have this as the start of their username, WV user. So copy it and then go over to the terminal. I think you can use CLS to clear the screen. Okay. We can use the clear command. So paste in the command here and issue it. So these are a limited number of user accounts. This is WV user Mixkitty and WV user Mayor Malware. So there are much less accounts with this username scheme. Okay. You may observe that an unusual parameter was set to a specific account in the output. One of the users, WV user backup where, has its password stored in one of the fields. So backup where. Can we find this one? So let's see. Backup where? This one right here. Okay. So we've got a password over here. So we've got the username, the user account name over here, and we have the password over here. Okay, all right. When the glitch saw this one, he immediately thought it could be the first step taken by the intruder to gain further access inside the tenant. However, he decided to continue the initial reconnaissance of users and groups. Now let's continue by listing the groups. Okay, so this is a command that's going to list out all of the groups inside of the Active Directory over here. So we're just going to copy this and issue the command up here in the terminal. Okay. So we've got a few different groups over here. Actually, we only have one group. What is the name of the group? It says Group for Recovering Wareville's Secrets, and the display name is Secret Recovery Group. So this is the group. You may observe that we just changed the previous command from AZAD user list to AZAD group list. Given the output, we can see a group named Secret Recovery Group exists. This is a kind of interesting group because of the description, so let's follow the white rabbit and list members of the group. Okay. So we can give this command over here to retrieve members of the group. And it looks like there's only this user over here, the backupware user here with the password. And this is their account name. Okay. Given the previous output, it looks like everything makes a little sense now. All of the previous commands seem to point to the WV user backupware account. Since we have seen a potential set of credentials, let's jump to another user by clearing the current Azure CLI account session and logging in with the new account. So what we need to do is we need to log out by using this command here, and we're going to try to log in using the that user that we found with their email and their password. So first of all, we're going to run this action right here to clear the account. And then we're going to log in with this right here. So this command over here, we're going to need to adjust. So we're going to need to provide the email over here and the password. So first of all, we delete the email, and then we copy this email. Actually, we'll copy it with the quotes, because sometimes we need to use quotes in order to copy all this stuff. So whoops. So in this case, we have to copy with Control C and not Control Shift C. But to paste in, we have to use Control Shift C, which is a bit unusual. So for the password, we use this password over here. Okay, after we've done all of that, we can issue the command. And now we are logged in. Okay. Azure role assignments. Since the WV user backupware account belongs to an interesting group, the glitch's first hunch is to see whether sensitive or privileged roles are assigned to the group. And his thoughts were, it doesn't make sense to name it like this if I can't do anything, right, McSkitty? But before checking the assigned roles, let's have a quick run through of Azure role assignments. Azure role assignments define the resources that each user or group can access. When a new user is created via the Entra ID, it cannot access any resource by default due to a lack of role. To grant access, an administrator must assign a role to let users view or manage a specific resource. The privilege level configured in role ranges from read-only to full control. Additionally, group members can inherit a role when assigned to a group. Returning to the Azure enumeration, let's see if a role is assigned to the secret recovery group. We'll be using the --all option to list all roles within the Azure subscription, and we'll be using the --assignee option with the group's ID to render only the ones related to our target group. Okay. So we're going to issue this command over here. I have to get the whole command. And then okay, so let's see. So this one is assignee. What is the assignee in this case? So we need to get the information for that group. So we're going to run this command again. The group list. So the group list over here, and we need to use this ID number right here. So this ID number right here, we need to use it with the command. So first of all, let me paste in the command here. And then with the assignee, we need to use the value for the ID over here for the group, which is the secret recovery group. So copy this ID number, and then we're going to insert it into the assignee over here, paste it in. Okay, after that, we will give the command. And what do we see here? Key Vault's secret user. This is one of the role definition name. So this user has been given this this role over here, Key Vault secrets user. Great. Okay. So you may retrieve the group ID from the command executed previously, so we did that. The output seems slightly overwhelming, so let's break it down. First, it can be seen that there are two entries in the output, which means two roles are assigned to this group. Based on the role definition name field, the two roles are Key Vault Reader and Key Vault Secrets User. Both entries have the same scope value, pointing to a Microsoft Key Vault resource, specifically on the Wareville Secrets Vault. Here's the definition of roles based on Microsoft documentation. So the Key Vault Reader is, they read metadata of key vaults and certificates, keys, and secrets. And this role allows you to read metadata of key vaults and its certificates, keys, and secrets. Cannot read sensitive values such as secret contents or key material. But the role Key Vault Secrets User can read secrets contents. Only works for key vaults that use the Azure role-based access control permission model. And this special role allows you to read the contents of a key vault secret. After seeing both of these roles, McSkitty immediately realized everything. This configuration allows the attacker to access the sensitive data they were protecting. Now that she knew this, she asked the glitch to confirm her assumption. Azure Key Vault. Using McSkitty's guidance, the glitch is now tasked to verify if the current account, WV User Backupware, can access the sensitive data. Let's list the accessible key vaults by executing this command below. Okay, so we're going to get the list of the key vaults by using this command. So we've got a key vault over here. The ID is this long string over here. The name of the resource is called Wareville Secrets, and this is a key vault. Okay. The output above confirms the key vault discovered from the role assignments named Wareville Secrets. Now let's see if secrets are stored in the key vault. All right, so over here, copy this command, and let's see. So it's going to list the secrets in the vault, where the vault name is equal to Wareville Secrets. So let's give this command. So there's a name for this secret over here, and it's called AOC 2024. Okay. After executing the previous two commands, we can confirm that the reader role allows us to view the key vault metadata, specifically the list of key vaults and secrets. Now the only thing left to confirm is whether the current user can access the contents of the discovered secret with the key vault secret user role. This can be done by executing the following command. So it's going to be key vault secret show, vault name is Wareville Secrets, and the name is redacted. So we know what the name of this is, so we're going to copy the rest of the command over here. Then we're going to go over to the console, paste this in, but the name is going to be this one over here, AOC 2024. AOC 2024. Then hit enter. Okay, so the secret value is where is my mind 1999? Interesting. Okay. Bingo! The glitch exclaimed as he saw the output above. McSkitty had confirmed her nightmare that a regular user could escalate their way into the secrets of Wareville. With that, the glitch helped McSkitty to find the attack path that had been taken to escalate a user's privileges, and a lot had been learned in the process. The only question that remained was who had initially carried out the attack in the first place. There was a very limited set of wares who had access to this tenant, and with user visibility, and with that set of permissions, only town officials who perform governance validation on the tenant to ensure all the town secrets are being stored securely. The focus then turns to the motive. The only thing accessed was the access key stored in the key vault, which grants access to the evidence file stored elsewhere. The evidence in this file was in relation to the recent cyber events this month in Wareville. We'll have to keep our eyes peeled in the following days to get to the bottom of this. Okay, so all we need to do to finish this exercise is to answer these questions. What was the password for backupware that was leaked? So the password for backupware that was leaked, let me see if I can. So we can see the password for backupware in this initial command here. It was the one that listed out the Wareville members. And it was this one over here. So this command over here lists out all of the users for Wareville. When we give this command, we scroll up and we see that the password is this one over here for Wareville user backupware, recover secrets. This is the password. So just copy this, then go over to the TryHackMe question, submit this. Okay, what is this? What is the group ID of the secret recovery group? So there's a secret recovery group. We go back here and the command that we use is we get the groups. So AZAD group list. So this is the command we need to use. So group for recovering Warewell secrets, secret recovery group. We need to get the ID. So the ID is this right here. So we just need to copy this ID value. Then paste in the value, click on submit. Okay. What is the name of the secret vault? So the name of the secret vault, of course, we need to get the value of the secret vault with this command. So AZ key vault secret list, vault name Wareville secrets, and we see that the name of the secret vault is AOC 2024. So we can just remember this. AOC 2024, click on submit. What are the contents of the secret stored in the vault? Okay, so to get this, the last command that we did before we finished the exercise was this command over here. So AZ key vault secret show, vault name Wareville secrets, name AOC 2024. And when we give this command, we see that the value of the secret is where is my mine 1999. So just copy this and then paste this in and click on submit. All right, so the only thing left to do is to finish this day's task by clicking on this button over here. So like today's task, check the exploiting Active Directory room to practice user and group enumeration in a similar yet different environment. Okay, great. So all we need to do is click on the button and we've completed today's task. All right, everybody. So we just finished this task, which was day number 16 from TryHackMe's Advent of Cyber 2024 event. If you enjoyed this walkthrough, please click on the like and subscribe buttons on this video. But until next time, HackerFrogs out.
Hey there, HackerFrogs! Are you enjoying this workshop? Learning new concepts and skills? If so, there's a way you can support the channel, and it's totally free. Just click on the subscribe button below the video. Also, click on the like button. And if you have questions or comments on this workshop, please leave them below the video. Thanks for listening. And now, back to our scheduled programming.